catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Krystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Krystal will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Hello, 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 hello. How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Give me 1 second. I hear a little feedback. One moment, everybody. Good evening. How you doing? I'm so glad to be here with you tonight. We are excited. We got a good one for you tonight. Listen, today we are going to interview a young lady today, and I want you to know her name is Krystal also. So I said we got a double dose of hope. Let me show you a little bit about what we're talking about. If you've seen this flyer,
it's your girl, Lady
right
J,
here,
and I'm proud to say we love our Zolly Pops.
Well, we love it. We love it, Lady J, but I got this. Thank you very much. All right, so listen, check this out. It's a double dose with Krystal and Krystal tonight. And I wanted y'all to know, if you've been in the Raleigh area, you've seen this face. This young lady does a lot in this area. You may have even seen her if you've been downtown Raleigh on the first and third Tuesday. Then you definitely know what I'm talking about. If you've been down there at the Masonic Lodge building, oh my goodness, she has really been doing the doggone thing there. It's called Taco Tuesday, where people have a free expression for all the individuals. They have artistic tools, instruments. Oh my God, it's an iconic church moment, and they provide food and drinks. And guess what? They even have some goofy vibes there, and it's also inspired by the Holy Spirit. I got to tell you that. I'm telling you. But I'm not going to get into any more that she has here. First, I'm going to look because I think I hear her in the room. I think she's somewhere. Are you there, Krystal?
I'm here. We made it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yes, we made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing today, dear?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this conversation. Yes, I know it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get on top of this. So I'm excited that we're actually.
And I see somebody knows about Taco Tuesday. S.P. Productions said.
Yeah, S.P. Productions. That's SP the writer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, guys, we want you to do us a favor. If you are here tonight, go ahead and like, share, and comment and subscribe to the channel and let us know you're here. And most importantly, get ready because it's going to be something that your friends are going to need to hear. They're going to thank you later. So go ahead and share this with 5 friends, please. Share this with 5 friends, because what we're going to do, Krystal is going to share her wealth of experience to you. All right. And we're going to connect with life experiences. So we're going to get it on. We're going to get ready. So first and foremost, Krystal, some people may not have seen that face and they may not know who you are. Tell the people, who is Krystal Da Muse?
Krystal Da Muse. I'm proud to say it's not really a persona. Some people have personas within business for themselves, but I'm glad to say that my persona is my persona. It's me. So I'm not having to put things on when I go out in front of people. I can truly be my authentic self all the time. Now, of course, time and place for everything. And so I'm always appropriate for the space and time that I'm in. But for the most part, I am your auntie. I have been very much seen as an auntie these days. But from a professional standpoint, I am a business solution specialist. I am also mostly known in the Raleigh Durham area as a host and curator and facilitator of events. So, in terms of my umbrella, I have a media and consulting company, and that allows me to wear the many hats that I wear under one roof without having to sacrifice one thing over another. For the most part, I am the epitome of the jack of all trades. I really take pride in doing the most and doing the most the best, if that makes sense.
Mm,
And I
wow.
don't just try to put my hands in things if I can't be 100% in the capacity that you want me in. I will decline. I am really, really big on excellence and high quality production. And so I am happy to say that what you see is what you get, and then some.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever been to any of her events in Raleigh, then you will understand that she is the hostess of the mostest. Okay. She definitely is. She brings the vibe, she brings the energy, she brings the spirit. Oh my gosh, she brings the laughter, the gifts, the talent. She brings the total package when she comes in there. And Krystal, before we get to that, I need to know a little bit about your background. So you from NYC? Tell me about that. Where was you born
Yes.
and raised?
So I always have to tell people I'm from New York, and it's because like every now and again, like you can just hear it. Like there's a undertone. I trained myself for many moons not to sound so, brash, if you will, that heavy New York thing. I grew up in a family of Panamanian father and a very bona fide Brooklyn mother. And so they just speak a certain kind of way, and we just adopted that. But to be honest, right? Most of my life has now been spent in North Carolina. And so, even though I am a Brooklyn girl through and through, I realize how much of the city is in like my being. My adolescence and my adulthood was spent in right here in North Carolina.
Wow. So Brooklyn, what part? I moved here from right by Prospect Park, Church and Ocean.
Okay, so what's crazy is we hopped around a lot. Um, a lot of my life was spent in Bushwick on Halsey between Central and Evergreen. And then before I left, now we also lived on Argyle Road right before we went there, which is not far from what you're speaking about. And but before we left, my family got a family home in in Brooklyn on Rutland. We had a brownstone right off of Flatbush. And so, we hopped around a little bit.
Okay. Now, Krystal, you are definitely doing an amazing thing on IG too. And I know I popped in on you on a couple of thoughtful Thursdays. And ladies and gentlemen, I put it up there on the screen for you if you do see it. Talk to me about this whole thing. So before you got to being the event planner, and I hear echo. Is that on my side? Let me turn my volume down.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo on my side. So that might
Uh,
be
if
just on
if
yours.
you ever if you've ever been on her thoughtful Thursdays, then you understand what I'm going to ask. Where did all that come from? Explain to them what thoughtful Thursday is for you, and what your mission is, because it's very creative. It's God inspired, and it's just really amazing. So talk to me about what that is.
So it's actually called Thought for Thursdays. And but Thoughtful Thursdays is basically the gist of it, because a lot of it is rooted and grounded in my faith and in my relationship with God. It started off, I I had a lot of identity issues. And the Thought for Thursdays really started off as a personal encouragement for me. So I started the Thought for Thursdays as a reminder to myself that I'm dope and I'm worthy just because I'm here, not because I do anything or I'm special in any kind of specific way, but I'm good and dope just as I am. And it developed into something more spiritual, to be honest. It went from, me encouraging myself and just putting it out there for others that may have needed encouragement as well, to me sharing things that I was learning about life and about real intimacy and relationship with God, and transformation that I truly desired for myself within the scope of my relationship with God. So it kind of transformed into gems, if you will, of things that I am learning daily. And a lot of my thought for Thursdays, and I would say a lot of my thought for Thursdays, I take the time to really seek God concerning what the Spirit is speaking at that moment, what would be good to speak about. It's not just about like, oh, I learned this today and let me share it. I really go into prayer and I consult with God about, what to say, and how sometimes to deliver what I'm saying, scriptures to utilize, and things that will stand firm throughout time and space. Because sometimes you'll give advice and then you'll realize later on down the line, like, you know what, that may not apply. And so I'm really cautious about seeking God so that it refers back to his unchanging word, and that way people can count on that information.
So today's Wednesday. So would you begin seeking God tonight for tomorrow, or is it something that you wake up with and you meditate on the day of? How does that work?
So
Today's Wednesday.
it really kind of depends. I start considering my thought right after the last thought. So within a day or two of Thursday, I'll really start to seek God for the topic. And a lot of times, honestly, I'm inspired by the things that I'm learning in church. What I found is that a lot of those lessons, I meditate on those lessons, and then some type of fruitful nugget will pop out, and I can utilize some of the things that were given to me at that time, to really build on the thought. But sometimes it is, I might think I already know. I might believe that it's already there. And then maybe the day of, I might wake up and it might be a whole pivot and switcheroo. So just depending on where the Spirit is leading me and guiding me, I try to be very sensitive and open to shifting, because I know how God does. He's very fluid in that way. And so one minute it could be like, hey, okay, he's giving me peace about that. And then the next minute it could be, hey, actually, this is what I want you to speak about. So it really kind of depends on how God is leading me in that particular thought. I'm trying to
check something here. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to check Facebook and see if I see this live over here. And see what's going on if we are live. Okay, we are live.
No problem.
So I noticed that in every setting I see you, you make it real clear that you follow your spirit. When did you become a born again Christian, and when did this happen?
Ooh, okay. So I'll say this. I have been saved, meaning, confession, believe since I was very, very young, maybe about 12, 13, very early, I will say intimacy in relationship with God and really outside of, like these religious boxes and religious worldviews, I would honestly say that there has been a lot of revelation that has come to me over the last few years. So over the last maybe 2.5 years, there has been a clearer, more fervent revelation about what intimacy and real relationship is with God versus the traditionalism and the religion that I believe that was kind of passed on to me from like my parents and from church as an adolescent.
So the way you incorporate it into your hosting is amazing. The way you invoke the Holy Spirit and the transparency you have is very inviting. Have you gotten a lot of testimonies from that?
Um, so I want to be clear. Do you mean my testimonies or other people's testimonies of me
Other
being
people, because
okay?
I know that just being in the room, just being in the atmosphere, when I went to that first Taco Tuesday, wow, it was really heavy. And if you were in the room, just like comment, let Krystal know you're there, let me know you're there. But I have to tell you, it was truly, 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 it was moving. It was so moving. And I just want to know, does anybody ever come up to you and say, just thank you? Because they have to, because it's so powerful. It's so powerful what you do. It's just powerful.
I truly believe that God is in what I'm doing, and God has been really keeping me and guiding me throughout. We're coming into our 3rd year of doing Taco Tuesday, and I definitely have had people approach me, call me, DM me, and let me know the impact and effect that those moments have had in their lives personally. I am always very honored that people feel safe because I know that spiritual people, Christians, people of God haven't always represented well. They haven't always taken care of how they represent Christ. And so the people that are looking on truly are affected by that negativity, and it perpetuates the stereotypes of Christians being whatever, judgmental, whatever the things are. And so I'm so grateful that God every day is teaching me how to be a good representation of his kingdom, a good representation of his grace, his mercy, his favor. I'm honored to be that because that's one of the things that I've always ran away from, this calling of being an influencer
Mm-hmm.
and influencing people in the wrong way.
Wow, that's
And
good.
it's always been terrifying for me, to be honest, the impact that I make when I am present and around people, because I understand that I am a trendsetter, I am an
Exactly. I
influencer.
love
People follow me and what I do. And because of that, it's easy for people to be swayed. I can sway. And
That's
so
right.
I've always been very terrified of that gifting that God has given me. But in this season, I've been honored to have it because I honor not only the gift, but the gift giver.
Now, let me go
And
ahead and
so
tell
it
you.
makes me more mindful of how I move, what I do. Now, I'm not perfect by any means, you know. I still got plenty of things, crooked things that God needs to make straight and so forth. But I am honored that every day I can see the transformation in me. And therefore, when people do approach me and say, hey, oh my God, your word came through, it's real strong, that touched me, da 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 da, I can really give credit to where credit's due, because I'm just the vessel, you know, I'm just what's being used. And I'm thankful for the obedience that God has put in me to follow what he is instructing me to do.
So let me just say this. Don't be afraid, because many are called, but few are chosen, and you're definitely chosen. You're definitely chosen. It's obvious. Your
Thank
fruits
you.
are seen. Um, Anybody who has been in your presence in an event, they know. They know. They know. So fear not. Let
Yeah,
me just say that. But now, it is a responsibility. It is a
for sure.
responsibility, but you know, you have such a gift that it's not forced upon anybody. It's done in such a way that you carry on the business of whatever the event is, whatever they hire you to come to do.
I just sprinkled
You do it.
Jesus in there.
Yeah, you do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So whatever you come to do, you do it, you know, just like Lo said, all the time. You know what I'm saying?
All of
And you know, the vibes is there, you've got the vibe, you know what I'm saying? So don't ever have that thought again, because there's no need for that. So now we know that you have a mission because you're on assignment. You know, there was a big reel when people were saying, you know, I understand the assignment. You clearly understand the assignment. Okay, so we got that. So now, how did you get to become this creative brand consultant to the way you do? How did you become this person that manages to get the people to follow and that are attracted to you? I mean, did you go to school for this? I mean, is this something that you went and took seminars for? I mean, how did you get there?
it's like what's the workshop called? Um, okay, so you want to know what's so crazy? I did not go to school for this. How it all I've always been like in customer service and sales, right? That's always been my background. Customer service, sales, administration. So those are my corporate fundamentals. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. That's what I did there. Um, I used to do voiceovers, right? I started off doing voiceovers for automated systems. And then as I gradually came out of the corporate arena, I went into insurance, and I was selling Aflac, and I ended up being hired as their regional administrator. So I
Nice.
had the ability to help facilitate, you know, plan things, events, uh, you know, manage calendars. I was doing all of that. So that's where a lot of the multifaceted things I learned from that arena. And I would host these presentation events. And so that was my first taste of hosting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, everything else came from that administrative sales background, right? So after
How was that first event? How did it go on that very first time? Because you see, the question I put up there, I asked anyone if they've ever been to one of your events, how did they feel when they left? So I want to know, when you did that very first event, what was the reaction?
So now this is more of a highly professional environment. So there was no like vibes, if you will, right? But the goal was to basically tell people about, you know, insurance, like what it looks like selling insurance, how we can be a benefit, how much money they could potentially make, so forth and so on. And it was very effortless for me. We found my regional manager, the first time he viewed me doing it, he was like, yo, you're really a natural. Like, and I wasn't talking at the people, you know, I didn't stand up most of the time. I really sat in the chair with them. There was a certain essence of relatability that I always make sure I put forth. And I'm just really honest. And there's nothing that I do that I'm not convicted about. So I'm not the type of person that can sell something that I don't believe in or I would not use. I would not, and maybe I could be good at it, you know what I'm saying? But I am not, you know, I don't do anything 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Right.
And so that is the thing that comes across very quickly to people. People can recognize genuine people, even if they don't like it, you know, because sometimes people don't like genuine people. But people can recognize your sincerity. And so I was a natural at it. I was just natural at speaking. I was a natural at conveying a message. And I was always very passionate and convicted about what I was speaking about. And so that translated.
Yes. So if somebody wants you to come and do something for them, what is the best place or the best way for them to reach out to you? Is it on social media? Is it a phone number?
Yeah.
Is it email?
So I like social media helps me to kind of screen things, if I'm being honest, you know, before people are able to like get to me directly, you know, there's like this screening process because people and they people. And so but the best way to initiate contact would be going to my IG. I check my DMs often. So DMing me or shooting me a text. My cell number is available actually on my IG. And so you can text. I don't answer the phone. I typically am like, hey, shoot me a text. And that'll help me to kind of censor what it is, fish a little bit about, you know, how serious the person is, how valid the offer is or what have you. And then we'll just move forward to, you know, either a personal consult or email communication.
Okay, so you prefer for them to go to Instagram. So if you want to make contact with her, go to her IG and just look her up. You see it right there on the screen. You can't miss it. Krystal Da Muse. Krystal with a K, Ystalgamuse.
Yeah.
Now, Krystal, so talk to me about branding.
Okay.
Why is branding so important? First of all, tell the people that just don't really understand, what does it mean to build your brand?
So I've learned that brand building is really important, especially when you don't necessarily have a focus, right? What the brand will do is kind of hone all of that in. So that's the point of the brand, is to paint a more concise picture of who you are and what you represent. And so a lot of times, you know, as you're starting off your business, that's the most pivotal time to understand branding, because your branding will attract your client, your customer, your demographic. And if you understand that like super early, it's way easier for you to be in this pocket and for you not to have to over explain who you are and what you do.
So a person needs to have done some research and really have a focus. They need to know what it is they want to do. They need to know who it is they're trying to reach, and they need to know what their goals are. You can't just go out there and just be doing something. Like if they start a podcast or if they have a channel, they need to know what their purpose is and what their goal is.
So let me say this. I'm always going to say just start, right? And all things, just start. And then you can always perfect things as you're doing it, right? But best case scenario, if you can start off with understanding those things that you mentioned, yes, that is the best case scenario. Knowing who you are, what you're selling, right? And who your audience is. Those three things are keys in making sure that you're not having to work so hard on the back end trying to attract the right people, or having to, sift through because so many of the wrong people are coming to you.
So know your audience. Now, I heard a saying once, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. Period.
Yes.
So that's what you're
Yeah.
saying, just start. And a lot of times people put too much thought into it and they never get started. And then I do agree with what you said. They can grow. They can grow from there. Was it scary for you when you first started?
Um, so okay. It wasn't scary for me when I first started. It was scary for me when I realized I had to branch out on my own. That was the scary part. I am a great assist. Okay. Um, that is the reason why, I am a business solution specialist. That's what I do the best. Tell you what's wrong and tell you how to make it right. Like, that is where I thrive, honey. Right. Um, it was, I never, and S.P. If he's still up here, he can attest to this. I always said I never wanted to own my own business. That was not something I wanted to do. I never wanted to necessarily branch on my own. I didn't necessarily want to be like the boss. Like, I would be in management. I would definitely be one of the executives or one of the leaders, but there will always be like a boss over me that I was like, hey, I got you. Let me do the thing. Um, so branching out on my own um was really the most scary part for me in my career. Realizing that God was like, hey, I really want you to do things in a specific way, and you're not going to be able to necessarily do that under these people. And so that
That's
was definitely the most scary part.
What's the biggest mistake that you see when you do go in and you become the solutionist and you're helping people? What is the one of the top three mistakes you see that people make?
People thinking that they know more than they do. A lot of owners, they do not like to admit that they don't know.
Mm, mm,
And that is a huge problem.
mm.
And it hinders the actual ability to grow past what the issues are. Because most times, if you can't, like, they'll invite me in, right? Because they know that they're lacking something. But, I'm an auntie, right? So I'm an auntie. And so I don't hold it in. I'm not going to give it to you with sugar on top. I am going to be respectful. I'm going to be mindful. I'm not going to, be mean or crass, but I am going to be direct, and I'm going to be very, very honest and straightforward. And people that own things don't like that.
Yeah. So why bring somebody in if you're not going to listen to them, right? And that's hard,
That's
I'm sure,
a
for some people.
very good question, but people do it all the time. They will ask me to give them an analysis. Um, they'll ask me to scrutinize their business. They'll ask me to do it all, and even to write up solutions for them. And it'll just be a hard pill to swallow to double back and just follow through it. And also, you know, sometimes people do want something for nothing because you can't always marginalize the assist until after you invest the money.
Well, let me just tell you right now, y'all, you have to invest in yourself if you want to go somewhere. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So, brand identity.
Woo!
Why is it so challenging though to really build that brand identity? And how long does it take if you had to estimate, how long would you tell somebody when they're first getting started, they're getting the graphics done, they're doing the logo, they're changing their image. How long will it take to get that brand identity?
So it will vary for every business, every individual. So one, I would say brand identity can be hard when you don't know what you want. So a lot of times people will have so many ideas, especially as creatives. You already know how I'm guilty.
2 hands up right there.
Okay, both, you know, lift those 2 hands. So, you know, as a creator myself, I understand how difficult it is sometimes to commit and to find like a niche, right? But you don't always have to stop doing all the things. You just have to figure out a way to make it all cohesive. Like I do so many things. I'm a stylist, you know, again, business solution specialist. I'm a host. I'm a producer. You know, I'm a ghostwriter. A lot of people don't know that. I'm a poet. You know, there's so many facets to what I do, but I can't, when somebody asks me like who you are, I can't be like, I'm a host, I'm a D, I'm a D, I'm a D, I'm a D. I'm
in the house. Hey,
I can't do all, hey Brandon, you know, I can't do all of those things, right? You know, you'll lose the person so quick. So the most important thing, right? And I know it's hard again for us creatives to do this, but what we have to do is commit to 3, right? So if you have a whole lot, what I would say, if you're going to do more than one, commit to 3 things being your primary, or figure out a way to make it one thing altogether. So I speak about me being a one-stop shop. I always know a guy. So you can come to me for all things creative, right? So then now what you have is me saying to you that anything that's creative falls into my lane. And now you have your start of your brand identity. All things creative. And that could be visual, DDD. Then you can start to explain more specifically how you can assist and
so
hone that in.
Because I got to catch you there, because that's me. I do a lot too. And Reggie said that this wisdom is necessary. Thank you, Reggie. I appreciate you. He's a poet too, incidentally. Thank you for coming through, Reggie. So commit to 3 things. So are we going to pick the top 3 that is making you the most money, or the one that you're most passionate about, or what are you picking? What are the top 3?
So I'm going to be honest. Don't do it based on the money.
Never. Yes.
Because then your integrity will be compromised early. And then everything will be on shaky ground, and eventually you'll have to fall down to rebuild. So please, guys, if you don't get anything else from me, don't do it for the money. Your why cannot be money. You'll run out of steam. You will not stay motivated. You will not stay consistent. You will not stay in the game. What I will say though, right? Because we want to be strategic and we want to be wise, right? I'm a firm believer, and this has just been my experience. first and foremost, I'm always going to consult God. Like, yo, help me out. Give me the path. Give me the direction. And typically, this is how I have found things have worked out for me. One is going to be what I am most passionate about, what I would do at any point in time, what I would wake up to, what I would go to sleep to, right? If I had to narrow it down, let's say I do a whole lot of things. What is the thing I go to sleep thinking about? What is the thing that I wake up thinking about? That's going to be in the top 3 things that I, narrow down. 1, if you can, the next thing is going to be the thing that you can monetize the most with. Okay? That's going to be with your passionate, because again, your passion will fuel that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay? You will want to do what you want to do, and so you'll be more motivated to do the other thing that doesn't bring you too much grief, but also
That's
brings you
good.
money.
So choose what you're most passionate about first.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. That's what you have to do. And then secondly, choose the thing that you can monetize.
Yes. Now the hope
Wow.
is, right? The hope is that you can, depending on what the passion thing is, right? The hope is that you can figure out a way to monetize that. But be very careful about coupling money with the passion, because again, you'll find yourself getting burnt out.
Wow. What's number 3?
And then the last thing is going to be something. So the last thing is definitely going to be something secondary to
Your secondary gift, like whatever your second most talented,
because something that you can
that
do,
you
because
can
it might be one and the same, right? Something that you do effortlessly, because the goal is, let me say,
I like that, effortlessly. So you don't have to work hard to do it. It's the thing that people call on you for when they always call on you saying, hey, can you do this for me? Man, I need you. That's the thing.
The goal is, and I've learned this, like I said, I've learned this in my faith walk. God does not desire for us to grind.
Wow. Say that again.
He desires for us to rest. Do everything from a place of rest. Everything that we do, for the most part, should be from a place of rest, and there should be a sense of ease to it. You shouldn't have to force, you shouldn't have to push or pull. It should really be a flow to the things that you are doing, even the things that you're making money from. Now, I'm not saying that you won't never have to work hard, right? But that should not be your normal state.
So I got to come back to that, what you said about grinding, because that right there, that just hurt. I know that hit a lot of people, because a lot of people be talking about they grinding, they hustling, they doing this, and they on it, you know what I'm saying? But what you just said was powerful. And I remember when you brought that up at the Taco Tuesday. I remember when you said how much you were grinding, how much work you had to put in, how much you were posting, how much you were advertising, how much you were reaching out, how much you were inviting. And when you stopped all that and you gave it to God,
it's when it boomed. I was like,
windows of heaven just opened.
What?
Oh, that
it
so
was really
talk about
bad.
that for a quick minute. How did you stop? Like, what did you get tired? Did you get weary? Did you get burnt out? And then how was it that you got from point A to point B where you were just able to sit back and let God do it?
God kept encouraging me to remember the scripture, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added to you.
Matthew 6:33, y'all. Come on.
He he was constantly, like, anytime that I was like overexerting myself, overextending myself, texting people, hey, come out Taco Tuesday. Every time I was doing that, God would be like, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, everything will be added to you. And then he would urge me like, rest, take a break, take a nap, take a minute. Don't post that. You don't have to post. And I didn't believe him. So here's the thing. I didn't believe it. I was just like, yo, in order for me to get what I want, I gotta work hard. I gotta work hard. I gotta work hard. That's not a thing. And the devil's trying to trick me to believe that I can just be and everything is. Like, nah, there's no way. And God was like, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts.
My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. Come on now with the Bible. If y'all know the Bible, she's telling you the Bible. Come on now.
And I'm telling you, he just kept ministering to me concerning, and ultimately he was just saying, I want your attention. I will prosper all of the things. You just need to look to me for the answer. And not what you think you know about running a business, what you think you know about, brand advisement. I'm going to do this. He just kept telling me, I'm going to do this supernaturally for you. I am your father and I will provide for you. If you seek me, I will give you all of the things. Now, that didn't negate some of the, basic business principles, because he would, remind me of those things and, make them applicable where they were necessary. But for the most part, he really wanted me to see that the world has deceived us as a people to be self-occupied so much that we only depend on the world for the answers and not the creator.
So when I hear you say that, I think about the scripture that says faith without works is dead, right? So a lot of times, sometimes people think the work is they have to do everything. They have to do everything. But the faith might be when you walk away from the job, or when you do something in faith to say, okay, God, I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust in you and lean not to my own understanding.
Right.
And I'm gonna take this step to show you that I really want to do this.
I'm gonna take the step to let you know that I really believe that you are guiding me and you are my provider. And a lot that I have done over the last 2 years has been faith walk, has been a true faith walk. And God put me in a position so that he can prove himself to me. Like, to me. Yes. Like, it was like, who am I for you to prove yourself to me? But God is like, yo, I want you to trust me. I want you to look to me. I want you to be sure of what I'm telling you. And so I'm willing to put my word on the line. Do it, and I will give you the desires of your heart.
So what are your top 3?
Ooh, why you do that? So, okay.
Because I mean, they all, to me, I'm just curious, because I mean, you're good at all of them. So I'm saying, okay, I'm trying to think. She said passion. I'm just wondering. I know, because I know you're a poet, and I'm gonna ask you to give us a poem too, because I know you're a poet.
So if I'm being honest, right, speaking, I'm finding has always been something that I have done. Speaking and writing are things that I do very easily. And so if I'm being honest, those are like my top. Speaking and writing, like ghostwriting, writing things for other people, and just speaking, those have been my top things. But the things that have earned me.
So let's talk about that for a minute. So people need to reach out to you for what? Are you ghostwriting for artists, or rappers, or poets, or?
So I am more of, I guess I'm more of a professional ghostwriter. So books. I have ghostwritten a couple of books for individuals. I have ghostwritten like bios, things like that. Not anything like like I haven't done, I mean, I've done creative writing, but I don't mean creative writing like on the entertainment and like
Okay.
poetry or you know, music, things like that. My talents have been primarily for professional bios, resumes, books, things like that.
Okay. So that's good to know. Speaking
Yeah.
of writing, do you write your own poems?
Yeah. So I'm not heavy, like poetry for me has always been an outlet at random, right? I began my hosting, my deep hosting career at an open mic. And I got an opportunity to host this open mic for a couple of years. And that's really where I fell in love with poetry again, because I've always written poetry. I've always written stories. And I just a few, I think it was last month, is when I really realized that more than a poet, I'm a storyteller.
Right. Now, that's why this is story time. But let
Yeah.
me ask you this. So, on that note, you have an event that you did here in Raleigh. Woo, that thing is so amazing. I know we didn't have it this year, but last couple of years you did this event. Can you talk to the people about what that event is and what you are intending on doing with it next time? Because that thing, I didn't get to attend, but I saw the videos, I saw the pictures, and I saw the promos, and I can only imagine how it was for those who attended.
Yeah. So you're referring to Inspired. Uh,
Yes.
S.P. is the actual curator of that event. He's the writer also of that particular event. I am an executive producer on the show. Sometimes I work in the background and I help with certain administrative responsibilities and duties and so forth. Um, Inspire, we are looking within the next year, we're looking to have Inspire come back. And SP, if you're still in the building, you can always like chime in to make sure I'm not putting foot in mouth. We're hoping either by the end of this year or by 2025, we'll be back and stronger than ever. But it is a experience, really. It's a poetry based experience, but it's truly art driven. We have an art gallery. There are commissioned poets and actors and actresses that are hired to actually speak the poetry that is written by SP, the writer. There's a live band, there's drinks and music, and there's
Red
it's
carpet. I think
truly
I
an
saw red
experience.
carpets and everything.
Yes,
Now, how
it's
would
a
that
red,
spell?
it's a
Did it two
black tie
words
event.
inspired? How would you spell?
INKSPIRED. And for those that are curious about when it's coming back and to stay up to date, they can follow the direct page on Instagram. And is it the Inspired Experience? Is it the Inspired Experience? I believe it's the Inspired Experience
Okay, we
on
definitely will send
IG.
them.
And Inspired is INKSPIRED. So the Inspired Experience on Instagram.
And the young
If you,
man that you said is the one who produced that. Is this young man right here?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
S.P. Productions, which SP is the writer and a curator of that event. I help to facilitate and so forth for that event. So we are looking to have that come back very, very soon. You know, we're slated within the next year to come back with if all
Okay.
the stars aligns and so forth.
But you do have something coming up pretty soon. I saw where you have an event coming up in a few weeks right here in Raleigh. It
Yes.
looks a little something like this right here. It's
Well,
called
it's actually in Chapel Hill.
Val-
This is at the kitchen in Chapel Hill. It is a Valentine's Day event. Really, really excited. There will be a professional chef there. It will be a 3-course meal. We will also have a paint and sip or sip and paint. So like all the beautiful things that you would want in a wonderful date night or a Galentine's with, maybe some girlfriends. You want to come out, listen to some good music, eat some great food, and enjoy the ambiance. And again, I'm hosting that evening, so you already know I'm coming with all of the vibes and ooey gooeyness. So I'm really, really excited for that. Not to mention, also for those that are in the Queen City, Charlotte area, there is a women's event called The Gathering that I'm also hosting. That's going to be in Charlotte. And for those that are curious about that, just DM me. That's going to be the easiest way to get additional information about that. It's this Sunday. This will be the first Sunday that I won't be doing our traditional Sunday brunch. Shout out to Ashley Yamaya, who will be standing in for me this Sunday at the venue Raleigh for brunch this Sunday while I'm off in Charlotte, taking care of this wonderful, wonderful event called The Gathering. It is a women's conference, and it's centered around emotions and being empowered by your emotions, and really helping each other to understand the power of being empowered by your emotions versus fighting against them. In addition to how that relates to our spirituality and our physical health and wellness. So I'm really, really excited for that particular event. Again, it's in Charlotte. If you want to know more about that event, DMing me will be the best case scenario right on Instagram. And I can talk to you about it, send you links if you're interested. Come on out, because that is going to be something very, very special. And for those that, are trying to keep it local, please, please, please go support my girl, Ashley Yamaya, at the venue Raleigh this Sunday. She will be standing in for me with my guy, DJ TJ, on the ones and twos. You already know how brunch go. It's live, it's in color, and it's even better when you pull up. So make sure you do that. Brunch is $35 for all you can eat.
How much?
Only $20 if you want to buy.
How much is it at the venue?
It's $35, and that includes the all you can eat buffet.
Oh, wow. And
yeah, all you can eat brunch.
Where's that going to be?
That's at the venue.
Where's it located?
Venue
What's the
Raleigh.
address for the venue? What's the address?
327 West Davie Street. 327 West Davie Street.
Raleigh?
Yep. And that's right on here in Raleigh. And every other
Sunday, pay at the door?
Right there as well.
Can they pay at the door?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it more at the door?
Nope.
Okay, guys. So there you have it. Then check it out. You at the venue. Go by the venue this Sunday. Show up and feel the vibe for $25. Okay.
$35.
It's $35. Oh,
yeah. So it's $35 at the door for the all you can eat buffet, and then it's $20 for entry if you're just coming to vibe out. So I just want to make sure we don't mince words, so people can be like, "Oh yeah, she get $10 discount."
We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that.
We don't want no trouble from the people, okay? And of course, next week is our kickoff back into Black History Month. The month of February, we're going to be wide open at the Masonic Lodge for Taco Tuesday. Every first and third Tuesday, we gather together. I'm always super excited and always in high expectation of Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
This year, of course, with everything shifting and changing, we're trying to do more. This year we have shift the time so to make it more accessible for those that work and so forth. So it's 8 to 10 versus from 10 to 12. That has really made an impact on people being able to come out and support. So I love that. And again, it's the 6th, this upcoming Tuesday, the 6th, and then we'll have it again this month on the 20th. And listen, there's so much going on in these upcoming months, especially kicking off in March, which is my birthday month. There's so much going on. We have a derm pop-up for Taco Tuesday, which I'm always so excited about because my derm guys are always like, when you coming to derm? When you going to come to derm? So we do have a pop-up in derm next month on March, I want to say 13th, which is the second Tuesday of the month. So March 13th will be in Durham, and we will have our official first pop-up in Durham, and it's going to be at a place called Lone Rider. So we are preparing this year for more. We are preparing for abundance, And like I said, it's always better when you pull up.
Wow. So listen, if y'all didn't catch all that, y'all might need to go back and replay and rewind.
Replay.
Okay, because I've been putting it up there for you. So she said on the 6th and the 20th here. I'm gonna have to check that out because my birthday is Monday. I'll be coming back from Hawaii on Monday. And so that'll be good.
Yes, come
In
on
the 6th and
outside.
the
Get you
20th
some rest, some
downtown.
R&R.
Yes. And then in Durham, that should be nice. So you're spreading the love to Durham, to Chapel Hill. They're getting you all over the place. So the word is getting out. They finding out who you are. Then at the venue, I corrected it up there. So Feel the Vibe for $35 for all you can eat at 27 Davie Street in Raleigh. And you can pay at the door. So make sure you go by there. And if you're in the Charlotte area, check out the Gathering in Charlotte. Okay. And if you just don't have time and you want to find out more, just go slide into her DMs over there on Instagram. Just slide a little bit in Krystal Da Muse and tell her, listen, I want to check that out. But if you didn't catch on right now, I told you before, she's the hostess of the mostest. So if you have an event coming up, and you really, really, really looking for someone that will just fit right on in with whatever it is you're trying to do and get the job done, you really want to contact Krystal Da Muse because she is going to help you with that. She's going to help you with that. So Krystal, before we get out of here, I can't let you slide out without blessing them a little bit with a little bit of poetry. Can you give us one of your pieces?
So didn't I tell you I'm more of a storyteller than
okay. So storyteller. So it's not. Well, you know what?
I've been telling the story all night.
Okay. Yeah. You have. Okay. So let me ask you this: as we get ready to close out and phase our way to closing, what is the difference between being a poet and a storyteller?
So I think there are a lot of similarities to the two things, but poetry, a lot of times, and I don't want to limit poetry at all because poetry is so broad and it's really what's honest for the person at that time. But when I speak of me being more of a storyteller than a poet, for me, it's not really about my focus being on a particular subject matter, more so than it is a whole entire story of different things maybe happening at once. And so really it's about conveying instead of a specific thing and a specific subject matter, utilizing certain parameters and criteria, I have more freedom to speak kind of freely about conveying an actual full story. Now, poets and poetry can still convey that as well, but most poets and most poetry is honed in on a particular subject matter or topic versus it being a full-on story of things.
Wow. Well, let me tell you something. You are very personable. Being in your presence, it's always been a joy. And I would tell anybody, if you've never met her, you really have to go to one of the events and meet her. What do you want the people to know about Krystal?
For sure that I am ever changing. I'm ever being transformed. That's the biggest thing I think. I believe I want people to know more than anything else who I am right now today. And I'm, always for the better, right? But who I am right now today and the things that I do and the places that I go might be completely different by next week, based on where God is leading me and what God is teaching me. And so, I just continue to ask for grace, continue to ask for grace for those that are following me and that are watching me and are looking at me as some kind of example, because I do understand, like we said in the beginning, there's a big responsibility when you are an influencer, and more so when you are representing Christ. It's so important that you walk well. And but sometimes in professing and confessing that, it gives people room to kind of scrutinize and judge and put you in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And so always remember that I'm ever changing, I'm ever progressing. God is working on me. And my biggest ask is for you to provide grace.
Yep. Wow. So once again, Krystal is a brand consultant, a specialist. She's a solutionist. She's going to get you your solution. She gave us some pointers tonight. If you popped in, we talked a little bit about the importance of branding, and she gave us some pointers on how to do that. So if you go back, please check that out and understand. Krystal, closing comments.
Um, you know what to do in the meantime, right? Stay locked, stay loaded, stay ready so you have to get ready. It's your girl, Krystal Da Muse.
Stay locked and stay loaded and stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And a lot of people say that, but that is really true. That is not just a cliche. That is really, really a way of life. A way of life. Krystal, I thank you so much. I got to get with you. I want to get with you about the branding.
Yes, we're gonna set something up. You got my number. I know I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. So shoot me a text and we're gonna set up something like a real one-on-one. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna eat, we're gonna do the things. In the meantime, the last thing that I want to say that I usually say at the closing of my discussions,
Yes.
like my thought for Thursday's discussion is love on yourself,
Mm.
love on each other,
Mm-hmm.
share the truth, be the truth.
And there you have it, guys. On that note, you have been locked into Krystal and Krystal with the C and with the K. We truly hope that you have gotten inspired. Both of us have so much in common. That's my favorite scripture, and it's hers too. That's just amazing. Both of us from New York City. So many things that I've heard that is just really like similar to mine. So you know what I say. I'm a hope catalyst. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. And I always say keep hope alive. So lock it in. Come back, see you next time. And I will not be here this Sunday because I will be in Hawaii celebrating my birthday. So I'll see y'all next Wednesday with D Sims from Uptown Dogs. If you haven't been by there, go by to 3923 New Bern Avenue and get you a hot dog the Bronx way because he's from New York also. I tell you, New York.
Listen, as long as he got that sauerkraut.
Yeah, he does. Red onions too. Sauerkraut, red onions, all that. Spicy mustard. Yes, you got to check it out. Nathan's and the Nathan's hot dog. So you got to go back by there. That's where we met. That's where we actually met, as a matter of fact. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Love you, girl. See you soon. Take care of those children and grands. I know you're enjoying that because I'm enjoying it. And we'll see you next time on Story Time, guys. Be good. Peace.